Right, so we're just going to talk about these three apps, which is what most people are wondering which to use. So it's going to be GoodNotes, Notability, and CollaNote, which is the new one on the block. So let's first talk about CollaNote. So this has unlimited organization. So the highest level is this folder-like looking thing. So when you go into that, you can create more folders, and then you can create more folders inside that, and then you can create even more folders, and it just keeps on going. It has unlimited organization. So the highest level of organization is this folder, and the lowest level of organization is this paper-like thing. So this is basically the note-taking interface, and this is how it is. The lowest level is the paper-like thing, and the highest level is the folder. So it has two levels, but it keeps on going because you can create more folders. So inside this, the text interface is basically, you can click this text button, and then this whole other interface pops up, and it kind of takes you out of the note, so you can basically type in that, and once you're done typing, it kind of puts it into this where you can resize it, you can fit it into your note however you please. And that's basically how the notes interface works. So it's separate to the normal note interface. So the text interface is separate to the normal note interface, so it takes you out of it, and then it brings you back once you're done. So the writing interface, it has a few brushes. It has this pen thing, which you can select a color, you can select the size, the opacity, and basically draw. And drawing is really good. It's smooth. It uses the normal Apple iPad APIs, and it's brilliant. It's just how it is in every other app. And the pencil thing is just a different texture, same controls. The only difference is that there's another texture, and I guess you can use that as you will in your notes. And the third thing is the highlighter. And the highlighter is quite cool because it kind of highlights behind the text so that the text is still quite vivid. Also, it autocorrects, so you can draw a weird line, but then it will correct to wait, that didn't happen properly. Just give me a second. So if you draw something like this, it'll correct to a line, so it's easier. You don't have to worry about drawing straight lines, and that's one of the things. And the cut tool is just as good. You can cut anything, you can resize it, you can drag it, you can you get all these other controls where you can change the shape, you can take a picture of it and save it to your pictures, all that stuff. So let's just put done over there and here. Okay, so that's the text interface. So those are basically the things that are available in the taskbar. And the really useful feature in this is that you can have favorites. So if you see this bar in the side, this bar in the side is the favorites bar. So I can pick this, I can pick a color, a size, and an opacity, although I'd keep it at 100 if I was normally taking a note. And then I can add it to favorites, and it will be there to access anytime. So when I'm making a note and I quickly want to switch between maybe, let's say, a red pen of a certain size and a black pen of a certain size, I can easily do it without any issue because of this favorites bar really quickly, without having to go to settings and select the color and the opacity and the size and all that every single time. Also, there are many color options. You can select basically unlimited color options, which is also nice. And also one of the things that this app has specifically is the fact that you can pick many sizes. There are 20 different size variations, which is different to the other apps. As you can see, this can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how good you are at decision making, but that is a feature. And the other feature is that it has voice recording, so you can record voice memos and store it within a note, such as this. And this is what the interface looks like. It starts beeping when it's not beeping. It starts glowing when you are recording, and when you stop, and then you can access your recordings like this. Interface looks like, and you can start play multiple recordings like this. Not beeping. So that is how the voice interface works. And the layout is like this, where it kind of comes in a vertical layout, and scrolling between pages is also vertical scrolling. And also it shows you all these tutorials and stuff which are available for anyone, which is also a useful feature. And well, these are the settings which you can use. You can export it in any way as a PDF, you can export it as a note, as in they have a proprietary format. So if the other person also has this exact app, they can use it and it can be sent in an editable format. So those are basically all the features in this app, CollaNote. And It's a pretty solid app, I'd say. You can also import stuff like stickers. You can import pictures, stickers, stickers, and they have all these interesting stickers. And also it has this laser pointer tool, which you can kind of use if you are teaching someone on Zoom or something, I suppose. And yeah, that is pretty much all the features on this. And I shall just a second. But yeah, that is basically it's a little glitchy sometimes because it is basically it's a very new software, and I'm sure all the little glitches and things will be sorted out in the months to come. So that's basically CollaNote, and that is the interface. The downside here is that it doesn't really have a search feature. There's no search feature to search for text, to search through your handwriting, to search through images. There really is no search feature anywhere within a note or on the organizational level, and we'll get to the other note apps and you'll see. So the next note app I want to discuss is, well, GoodNotes. GoodNotes is a very popular one. It's been there for a while, and it's very polished. So it has this sort of documents, this tab at the bottom, which has a document sorter, universal search, shared, and favorites. So this is really useful when you want to quickly access something that so like a shared note. If other people also use GoodNotes, you can all have a shared note and work on it at the same time, just like in Apple Notes basically. So now in this also has unlimited organization, but the highest level of organization is the folder. So once you go to the folder, you can create another folder inside that, and then the lowest level of organization is the note, and the note can have a cover like this and a note basically, and that's basically the levels of organization. And this also has unlimited organization, but the only difference being that it looks slightly different to CollaNote. And so in this, when you create a new note, you get this menu. You can select a cover and you get all these different cover designs, and well, these are quite nice and probably a little better than, honestly, like, look, CollaNote also has that sort of thing. If you go to create new note, I forgot to show this earlier, but I'm coming back to this. So it has different layouts like a single line, dots, square, and those are the paper templates, and then the normal templates for maybe covers. I guess you get all these templates, very colorful. I mean, it's a little out there, but if you like that sort of thing, it's great. I mean, weekly planners and stuff like that, so that's also, I guess, useful. But I guess in stark contrast, you can see that this has a much more nicer, more professional looking. I mean, these abstract black and white ones are just absolutely gorgeous if you look at them. And yeah, stuff like floral covers, and then they have, I mean, it's done by professional artists, so it's quite nice. And so that's the cover. And the paper, you can select, again, the same options. You even get manuscripts if you want to, compose music, I suppose, and monthly planners, to-do lists, all of that is part of the package, and it's included. And that's how you create a note. So by clicking create, you can create, but I've already created a note just to show as an example. And in this, the interface, the top bar is very similar to CollaNote, except the only difference is here you get a tab system where you can quickly switch between notes, which is useful at times if you want to quickly cut and paste between different notes. And well, I'll start from this side. So first you get the highlighter tool, which is the laser pointer tool, which is used in most of these things. That also you get as a pointer or a line diagram. The text tool is different here. It's slightly different. So over there it takes you to a whole different interface, but here you can just tap on it and then you can basically start right, so it stays confined within the size you dictate, I think, so you can kind of change it. Interesting. So basically you can just tap on it and start typing, and then after you type you can change the font or whatever you want to do. And well, it's pretty simple. It's pretty basic stuff, pretty simple. You can change the font size and all that in the top bar over here. And you can also add pictures and stickers just like the earlier one. The cut tool is just as powerful. I'm just going to switch to the pencil. Cut tool is just as powerful. You can resize, move around. Resizing is a whole different thing. You have to tap and then then only you can resize and change the orientation and all that, but it's just as powerful. So another thing this has is the writing interface is just as good. It's brilliant, but this also has shape detection, so you can just draw a shape and it'll detect the shape, and it'll hold the ideal form of that shape, especially useful when you're drawing a line or something, I suppose. And so the pen option comes with several different options compared to the earlier one. This comes with a fountain pen, ball pen, and a brush pen. And the differences, well, I'm not well versed in exactly the differences, but I think using pressure and all that and tilt, this kind of the brush pen detects all that much better, while the ball pen is very consistent and it doesn't really taper off, while the fountain pen is kind of in between both, where it tapers off and it stays consistent when you want it to. The highlighting tool is very similar to the earlier one. It stays behind the text. It's very neat. It's pretty good. But yeah, so the undo tool is also at the top, and that's pretty standard across all these apps. And the cut tool is great. So basically those are the features of this. So now extra features, at least features that GoodNotes has over the other one, I would say. Now the first thing is obviously universal search. So you can just search in here, you can just search "The Unexamined Life is Not Worth Living" by Aristotle, and the entire thing, as you can see, has been detected. My handwriting has been detected by this, and you can just search your note for that, and that's really useful. But what's really useful is the fact that you can go to universal search, and if there is some term that you think that comes in a lot of places and you have many notes pertaining to that word, you can find all of them here because it recognizes all the places that appears in, and that is really useful because all of your notes are indexed and readily available, and all of the text that you write has already been converted into text and it's searchable all the time. It's instant and it leverages the power of the iPad to do that, which is really useful. And those are the features of GoodNotes as far as I can say. And one last thing. The last thing that makes GoodNotes stand out above the rest is that it has multi-window support. So you can have multiple instances of the app open. And this is really useful, I guess, when you're transferring stuff between notes or something like that. So you can have like multiple. You can just make as many instances of GoodNotes as you want. And then it kind of appears in this whole window format at the bottom, and you can create new windows. And you can work on multiple notes from multiple things. Maybe one thing's academic, one thing is interest related, whatever, just organizing something else. So you can work on you can have different windows open, and I guess that's pretty useful. So that is GoodNotes basically. We covered the organization, the customization, and the universal search, which is a unique feature to this app. The next app we have is Notability. Notability is right here. So Notability, if you start off with the organization, it has two levels of organization. You get, as you can see in this, you get dividers which group subjects and subjects which group notes. So two levels. It does not have unlimited levels of organization, just two levels. So for an example, if we look at this example is the divider, and under that you get the subject brambles. So now these are editable, and you can change the color basically of the subject, and you can lock it so that you can't move it to other stuff. But basically that's all the customization you get for as far as organization is concerned. But once you go into a note, you can see that the layout here is slightly different. So here you get one pen option, and in that pen option you get one option that let's select size 5, which is a reasonable size, and this option is the option that keeps it consistent, and this one, it makes it tapers off. So this might actually be nice in some instances when you want to write a topic or something, but I mean, it's all up to your preference. So you can change the size, you can change whatever size you want. This also has basically unlimited colors, just like the earlier two apps. But here the difference is, now this is kind of like CollaNotes in regards to that aspect, but I can select this brush size, this color, and maybe the tapering thing, and then add it to my favorites, and it's constantly available in this favorites bar at the corner, and I can move this around, and constantly when I'm making a note I can always quickly change between different notes. So I can do this and then do that. Sorry, that's the same color as this, but quickly move between these things without having to tap multiple times on the taskbar and having to switch between something, which is a problem that you have in GoodNotes, and something I realized when I was making random notes also, that you need to constantly tap several times, as in, well, it's not. So I'll just go back to GoodNotes, and you can see that here you can go this, and here you have this pen selected, but to select a color you need to go here and select a color and then select the size and then draw something. Then again, if you want something else, you need to go back here, you need to select the color again, and you need to select the size, and it's a hassle every single time. You have to keep doing that, and you can only save 3 presets at the time and 3 size presets at the time. So basically you can't really as in, you can save this, you get a wide range and you can save that preset, but you can only save 3 at a time, and you have to keep selecting which one, and there are 1, 2, 3 variables, so every single time you need to select between the 3 variables, and you can't have one fixed preset available all the time, such as in Notability, which kind of gives you this favorites bar, which is a huge plus and one of the biggest benefits of having Notability. Now Notability also has universal search. You can search within this, and you can see it recognizes my handwriting. I'll try and write something really bad and see if it still recognizes it. I mean, no, wait, let's see. I think I wrote recognize, not sure. Right, I don't think it has indicated, it has found even the R, which is okay, let's write something better. Right, I think it takes some time to index the page, so as soon as you write it, it isn't searchable. So that's also one thing to consider, although I did write this also just now, so, and it seems to find that. So I don't know, maybe it's some glitch with the problem, so with the app, so that can also happen sometimes. So this also has a sort of vertical scrolling thing, and then whatever new pages you add, they get added vertically and you scroll down. In contrast to GoodNotes has a horizontal scroll thing, where you scroll to the side and you can see this animation of this thing kind of filling and then adding a new page, basically. And basically you can add new pages by that, and it's a horizontal scrolling thing in contrast to this. So those are the features of this. This also has the select tool. It also has the thing where you can move. This is the mode to put when you're viewing it and you want to just move things around. And it also has the laser pointer. It has the laser pointer when it shows its tail. Same features as the other two. Plus this is voice memos, just like CollaNote. So that's an added feature. And I think when we go back, we can see that you can go to all notes, and universal search is there for all notes. So you can just search through all notes. I think GoodNotes has a more powerful universal search, where it kind of highlights the text and the place, and it just looks better. And these are just personal notes, but I feel like this looks a bit more maybe professional, business-like, but then GoodNotes just has a very friendly, student-friendly vibe to it. And that's just a opinion. So all in all, out of the 3 notes, out of GoodNotes, where I have 2 instances of GoodNotes open, I'll just close one. Out of GoodNotes, Notability, and CollaNotes, if you look at it as a summary, GoodNotes is aesthetically pleasing. It has multi-window support and very, very powerful search. Notability, on the other hand, has powerful search and has the favorites bar, which, as I discussed, is very, very useful. And CollaNotes does not have search at all in any capacity. It has brilliant organization and it has the favorites bar. So if you look at all 3 of them, they all have their pros and cons, as I said. The cons of each is GoodNotes doesn't have the favorites bar, which is very useful when you're switching between brushes, when you're making a nice note. Notability does not have that level of customization or that level of organization, and CollaNote does not have searchability at all, which I think is really important, and that feels like a deal breaker. But it has, that's the one thing it doesn't have. It has all the rest of both. So based on which pro you think is the worst, you can select which app will be your main note-taking app. Now, I personally think that Notability is the best here because of the favorites bar only. GoodNotes would have been the most perfect one if it had the favorites bar, but well, who knows? In a future update, we might get all of these features on all three of these apps, and this video will be redundant. So I hope that helped, and that is all for today. And